My name is Aldo, and I never believed in the supernatural until that night. It all began with a traveling carnival that came to my small hometown, Waringin City, a quiet place on the outskirts of West Java. Normally, whenever such entertainment arrived, the entire town would pour into the field. But this year, something was different. Something felt off. Something I'll never forget. That afternoon, the sky was dim and heavy with clouds. Around 5 in the evening, I found an envelope of gold placed neatly on my doorstep. There was no sender's name, no postmark, only one sentence written elegantly on the front. Special invitation, the Elysium Carnival. The golden ticket is for the chosen only. Inside was a golden ticket, its surface shimmering faintly like old metal. On the back, written in small crimson letters, it read, "One night, one chance, not for sale, not to be discarded." I thought it was some kind of marketing gimmick, but the strange thing was, I was the only one who received it. My friends Nando and Rion got nothing. The three of us usually went to carnivals together, so they teased me relentlessly. "Wow, maybe they want you to be the clown this year," Nando joked. But Rion frowned as he examined the ticket. "Elysium? I've heard that word before. Doesn't it mean heaven?" I laughed it off, though unease had already crept into my stomach. The ticket felt warm in my hand, almost pulsing, like it had a heartbeat. Still, my curiosity outweighed my fear. That night, we agreed to go together. The carnival was held in a vacant lot on the edge of town, the same place where an old night market had burned down years ago. There were no official signs, just faint red and yellow lights flickering in the distance. And the music. Soft, slow waltz music drifting through the fog like a melody from a bygone era. When we arrived, the carnival was real. Rows of tents glowed beneath strings of orange bulbs. There was a clown booth, a fortune-teller's tent, an old Ferris wheel, and stands selling popcorn and cotton candy. But everything looked old. The staff wore 1960s-style uniforms, and the banners were painted in faded, antique lettering. It was like walking into a forgotten photograph. What unsettled me most was the small number of visitors. Barely a dozen people wandered around, their faces pale, their smiles stiff. There was a sweet scent in the air, like caramel mixed with something metallic and burnt. As we approached the main gate, a tall man in a crimson suit and a black top hat stepped forward. His smile was wide, too wide, and his eyes were bottomless black. "Welcome to the Elysium Carnival," he said in a deep, deliberate tone. "Do you have your ticket?" I held out the golden one. The moment he saw it, his expression changed. Not surprised, but satisfied. "Ah, a special guest," he murmured. "Please step inside, Mr. Aldo. Your two friends may join as companions." I froze. He had said my name, though I'd never told him. Before I could ask how he knew it, the man bowed slightly and opened the gate for us. The music swirled louder. Lights began to swirl around the tents. The air felt thick, a strange mix of smoke, candle wax, and damp soil. As we entered, Nando whispered, "Dude, something's not right. Everyone here looks off." I turned and noticed it too. Some of the people weren't moving quite right. Their skin was grayish, their steps stiff. A little boy held a red balloon, staring blankly ahead. And then he vanished, right there before our eyes, gone as if he had never existed. Trying to shake it off, we walked toward one of the main tents. Above the entrance was a wooden sign that read, "Main Attraction. 1 golden ticket, 1 miracle." I showed the guard my ticket. He grinned with unnaturally white teeth and pulled back the curtain for us. Inside, the air was cold and smelled faintly of rust. A single chandelier flickered above, illuminating a stage where an elderly magician stood. He wore a gray suit, white gloves, and a black cane. Deep wrinkles lined his face, but his eyes gleamed like glass, sharp and full of something inhuman. "Welcome, holder of the golden ticket," he announced, locking his gaze on me. "Tonight you shall witness something unforgettable." He tapped his cane on the floor 3 times. Behind him, a large wooden box was rolled onto the stage. The magician called for a volunteer, and to my horror, Rion raised his hand. "Step right in, young man," said the magician. Rion chuckled nervously and stepped into the box. The moment the lid shut, I heard metal latches click tight. The magician began to chant softly, not in any language I knew. The air around us grew cold. Then he knocked on the box 3 times and opened it. It was empty. No Rion. No sound. Only a hollow rush of air, cold as the grave. We all froze. Then, from the speakers above came Rion's voice, distant and trembling. "Aldo, help me!" The lights went out. The tent shook violently. Screams erupted from the audience. When the lights returned, the magician was gone. So were the other spectators. Only Nando and I remained, and on the stage floor lay a second golden ticket, stained faintly with red. We ran out of the tent, desperate for escape. But the moment we stepped outside, the carnival grounds were different. All the tents were gone. The once lively field was now barren, silent, and covered in gray dust. Only an old Ferris wheel remained, slowly turning in the wind, though no power ran through it. "Nando, where the hell are we?" I whispered. He pointed ahead, trembling. "Eldo, look!" At the entrance gate stood the same people we'd seen before, but now they were motionless. Their eyes were open yet empty, their bodies stiff like mannequins. Some faces looked decayed, their skin cracked like melted wax. We turned to run the other way, but no matter which path we took, we ended up back at the same place, the main tent. The waltz music started again, slower this time, distorted, like an old vinyl spinning too slowly. When I looked down at my ticket, the red letters had changed. Now they read, "1 soul has been traded. 2 remain." I nearly dropped it. The ticket felt hot, burning against my palm. Nando stared at it in horror. "Aldo, that thing's cursed. It's taking people." Before I could respond, a familiar figure appeared from the shadows. The tall gatekeeper in the crimson suit. His voice was calm, but his words crawled under my skin. "Every century, this carnival returns to collect those who crave entertainment, those too curious for their own good. The golden ticket is not a gift. It's a summons, a debt to be paid." I shouted, "What did you do to my friend? Where is Rion?" The man's smile widened. "Rion has joined the performance. But you, Mr. Aldo, you still have a choice. Hand over your ticket, or take his place." I stared at the ticket. It was now glowing red, pulsing like a heart. On its back, new words had appeared, faint but legible. "A ticket cannot be refused. It can only be exchanged."
Nando stepped back, trembling. "Although, don't you dare choose me. We have to get out." I nodded, but deep inside something was whispering. A faint voice, not my own, seeping through my mind. "Only one leaves, one ticket, one soul." The world began to spin. The Ferris wheel's lights flickered back to life. The tents reappeared, but as transparent silhouettes, like ghosts of the past. And there, in the center of the grounds, stood Rian. His face was pale, his eyes hollow, yet he smiled faintly. "Aldo, please take my ticket. I can't stand this place anymore." I ran toward him, desperate to reach my friend, but Nando grabbed my arm. "It's not him, Aldo. It's just a trick." I couldn't stop. All I wanted was to save Rian. I held the ticket tight, screamed from the depths of my chest, "Take me instead! Let him go!" Blue flames engulfed my body. The world shattered into sound, laughter, screams, the blare of trumpets and grinding metal, until everything folded into silence. When I woke up, everything was different. The sky was blood red. The carnival was in ruins, burned and broken, as if centuries had passed. Around me, hundreds of golden tickets were scattered across the ground, each bearing a name. I looked down at my own hands, and horror struck me. My skin was fading, crumbling into ash. Then I saw it, a large wooden board above the main tent entrance. The words on it shifted before my eyes, forming a new message. "Next performance, Aldo, the holder of the golden ticket." I stumbled forward into the tent. Inside, the magician was waiting, smiling. "Welcome home, Mr. Aldo," he said softly. "Your ticket has been redeemed." The lights blazed to life. The audience erupted in applause, though none of them were alive. Rows of empty-eyed faces clapped in rhythm, their mouths stretched in eternal grins. In the front row, I saw Ryan and Nando, smiling faintly, their skin waxy, their eyes glassy. I tried to scream, but no sound came. The magician approached, resting a gloved hand on my shoulder. His breath was cold as frost. "Now," he whispered, "it's your turn to entertain them." 3 days later, residents of Waringen City found the empty field on the town's edge. There were no tents, no rides, only scorched earth and the lingering smell of burnt sugar and ash. But in the center of the field, they discovered 3 golden tickets, half buried in the dirt. Each one bore a name: Aldo, Ryan, Nando. That night, witnesses swore they heard faint carnival music echoing through the wind, a broken waltz, distant but clear. And beneath that melody, a deep voice whispered, "The show must go on until every ticket is redeemed."